Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence, our pre-Christmas show. I am Chris.
I'm Ratman.
Robin.
Yeah, he did it for me. I love that guy for that reason, because he remembers my stupidity and he delivers, and he's got the shirt on. This is our people. We can stay.
I'm glad.
I'm happy. That's one of the dwarves, I think. I know I'm short enough to qualify for that too. I'm Ron. See, when I say my name, dead silence.
We're in such awe of your presence that it just stops us.
When I say my name, crickets. When I say something funny, everybody's with me.
Well, unfortunately, Audra and Cherie won't be with us tonight. They both got to get up before the butt crack of dawn tomorrow morning, so they chose sleep. And I don't blame them.
Cherie's still packing, but she'll hopefully choose some sleep before she has to get up at 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Aww. They are missed.
Yes, always.
Always.
We do have one announcement I want to make sure that we let you guys all know. Hello, Carol. That the day after Christmas, Monday the 26th, and the day after New Year's, January 2nd, UNX will be running reruns of our show, but we will not be doing live. We are taking holiday breaks. All of us doing our Christmas stuff, and then New Year's, we will be in Phoenix with the Rathmans and visiting our new grandbaby. So we're all taking a couple weeks off, but we will be back live with you guys Monday night, January 9th. Our first show of the year will be an EVPE evidence show for you guys to kick the new year off right. So we're all excited about that.
Yeah.
What do you guys got planned for the holidays?
Well, we're going to spend it with your dad, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, my dad and his girlfriend, Ginny, we're going to spend Christmas Eve with them. We just went and see my dad. I posted it on Facebook. Went and see him play with some of his old bandmates. They gigs every so often around northern New Jersey. And it's freaking awesome. He's an amazing drummer. And then to watch, like, the bass player, Vic, is 91 years old. And he's killing it. He's just, He's so good. I mean, yeah, the sax player, I think, is in his 80s. The guitar player is the youngest guy. I don't know how old Billy is, but they're really talented, and people just love him.
How old is he? Like in his 50s, you think?
Billy?
Yeah.
No, he's older than that.
He's a little older, but people, when he says how old the rest of the gang is, they're like, what? But they have no idea how freaking good these guys are. They're so good.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, I saw the clip you guys posted. That was awesome.
Yeah.
We just plan to have a nice Christmas at home with the kids, and I think next week. And this is the fun of living in Phoenix. I think Cherie and I are going camping.
Oh, nice!
Wow, that's
very
cool.
nice, very nice.
You guys did a nice what's the word I'm looking for? A nice job, for lack of a better way to say it, of doing it last time. Like, you had a really cool setup. It seemed like you had a lot of fun, from grilling to, like, the whole setup was just really cool.
It was a ton of fun, and we've been wanting to do that since, oh my gosh, end of September. And we October was a blur, November was a blur, and more than half of December is gone. But we're thinking, okay, well, last week, take some days and head out, do some camping.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
very
cool.
nice.
Audra and I are supposed to drive up Friday to Toledo to spend Christmas with her parents, but there's supposed to be a blizzard coming through. So just like COVID got us on Thanksgiving, I think the blizzard's going to get us on Christmas. So we might be stuck at home. But New Year's Day, we'll be flying to Phoenix.
awesome.
Nice. Nice.
So we'll see. Hopefully the blizzard holds off so we can get up for Christmas. So.
Yeah.
Two quick shots, if I may. One, Steve Holte, we saw him at the Ritz Theater in November, and I dropped my Steve's box 52, and I don't know what I did to it, but it wasn't working. So he took it. So he sends me a message today. He fixed it. There it is. Katie, he fixed your toggle switch. He fixed the whole box today.
Awesome.
And I said, look, tell me what I owe you, because this was none of your fault whatsoever. Right? This is my dumbass. I dropped it. And he didn't. He said very nice things back in response. He didn't want anything for it. And so he's iconic in the field, as is Katie and ITC. But what he said back to me is why he's on this, because he's always been good. He's always been there. He didn't have to, he's done stuff for us he didn't have to do. So I appreciate the whole thing very much, and it was very nice that he did that.
That's awesome.
And the other thing I just wanted to say is that book 3, the Digital Seance Initiative, will be out in February.
Wow. Nice work. Nice work.
Very nice.
Out in February. And there might be a picture of Tony Rathman in this book too. I go with the editor. I pull them all out. I went, oh, no, enough of that Rathman guy. And they go, no, we're putting it in.
You need the Rathman.
Because it's important. I'm Rathman.
Yeah.
You got to have the subtitle. Absolutely.
So,
That's cool,
and then book 4 is underway, and book 4 is going to get a little contribution from this person and that person up there with the EVPI hat as well. Try to get everybody, and I love you guys, and I respect all you guys. Holte's included, the Austin Maynards of the world, and so my spotlight and my legacy is devalued without the inclusion of you people. So I get everybody in as much as I can, because that's important.
We appreciate that very, very much. But you can crank out books faster than. When did your first one come out? What's it been, like a year and a month?
Last week. No. So it's funny because I look at Richard Estep or Estep and like Sam Baltrusis. They've got a lot of books out. What happened was that I started book 1 in 2019 and I stopped. And then in 2020, I was like, I should finish this because I'm an idiot. Can't argue with it. So I was like, all right. And then I finished it. By the time I got the publishing deal and then it was coming out, I was already started on the next one. So the next one seemed to come out pretty quickly behind it. And so then I kept writing from there. And then Rich Michelle was another one who's watching it. Rich Michelle is a fantastic author. And he's got a handful of books out too. I was on 7 or 8 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm honored to be in the company of those who are doing it, and I look forward to, and you guys would have my full support if any of you guys decide to take that path as well.
There might be one in the works.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. So tonight, the last show of the year, we have Rod and Jamie from the Phoenix Arizona Paranormal Society, better known as PAPS. So let's go ahead and bring in Jamie, and Rod might have froze again. This is Jamie.
Hey
guys, good to see you again.
There.
What's up, Jamie?
And there's Rod. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey guys.
I like it.
Welcome.
So
Thanks
Rod
for
and
being
Jamie,
here with us.
say that again, Rod.
I was just saying thanks for being here with us for our final show of the year. This is cool.
Yeah.
Very meaningful, for sure.
Yeah.
Rod and Jamie have been with us
Want some of that eggnog, Ron, that you're sipping on, for sure.
and that's not
This is coffee. Otherwise, I would be facing the other direction. Where's the audience?
All right, Rod and Jamie, tell us what got you involved in the paranormal, and tell us a little bit about PAPS.
Go ahead, Jamie. Go first.
Well, like I always say, I was born with the intrigue of the paranormal, and that encapsulates everything, ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, everything. I was born and raised in a small town in south central Nebraska, and it's very dark and lonely in those little towns, right? So I just, as a kid, I would go out and heck, sometimes I'd walk out in the cornfields and just stare up in the sky and wonder, what the heck is up there? And then also in a small town like that, there's a ton of old buildings, abandoned buildings that I was intrigued in. I'd like to creep into, every once in a while. So that's what really got my feet wet as far as my interest. And then, early 90s, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm at now, obviously. And then just really got into it more. The Phoenix Lights happened on March 13th, 1997. And they literally flew right over my house as I lived in Ahwatukee, at the time. So that was pretty cool. And then, so I've always been a UFO guy. And then, I slowly got into more of the ghost stuff and the consciousness stuff like that. So I did start doing a lot of research. And as years went by, my kids came along and got a little bit older. And then it's like, it's time to join a group. So I joined Rod's group about 10 years ago, and it's been great ever since.
So Jamie, what town are you from in Nebraska?
I'm from a little town in south central Nebraska called Clay Center.
I know where it's at. I was born in Auburn and part of my life lived in Peru.
Oh, nice. Yep. On the
you guys, you guys know why the trees in Nebraska lean to the east when they grow, right?
Yeah, because Colorado blows and Iowa sucks.
That's right.
Wow. Yep. It's been verified.
Right. Nebraska, if you know that answer.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fantastic.
All right, Rod, tell us about you.
Well, I was born in a little town, Norwalk. It was next to the Mistake on the Lake, Cleveland. And I was born and raised in a haunted house. It was a brand new house, but it was extremely haunted. Me and the brother went through a bunch of turmoils and things that happened to us during that time frame. There was even one point which was really strange because I was called home. I was working at a printing factory, and I get this call from the police. You better come home. Your mom's in a panic. I ride my bike home, and here's all the neighbors standing out there, and they swear that this light that's up in the sky came down, and it was over top of our house and vibrating our house, I guess. Some sort of a spaceship. Wow. So I guess I was already involved with aliens, too. I had no idea. I just figured it was all, the haunted, the spirits and stuff like that. But so I was raised and pretty much had a lot of stuff. Came out here, same thing happened out here with my daughter when she was born. We had some issues in that. So I decided to form this group and see if we could help kids, especially kids that just can't sleep at night because the boogeyman's real, and we hope to take care of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
An advocate for those who have a voice that gets discounted far too often. That you won me over right there.
Yeah. Well, we kind of pride ourselves on child cases. That's one of the things we do no matter what. If there's a child case, everything else gets dropped, and that's where we go. So that's what we're pretty much known for.
Fantastic.
That's amazing. That's fantastic to hear.
And we've had this on our show a couple times now, where a couple groups doing the private investigations, helping clients in their local areas, and that's fantastic because we miss that a lot when you see the TV shows with the big let's go do places like Trans-Allegheny and places like the Queen Mary and other places like that, where they get all the glory and the glam, but when it comes right down to it, you got groups like PAPS and EVPI in Phoenix. We did it there. We do it here in North Carolina. Ron and Lourdes have done it a few times where you do privates and you help just your average people, and that's, you don't advertise it because it's a private home, but it's also a big part of what we do, and you got to get your hats off to the teams that actually do that to help people, that regular people that don't know how to handle it.
Right.
I agree 100%. Not only was that well said and completely true, but one of the correlative things about what we do is when, and I'm sure you guys do a lot of the historic places that Chris was talking about, that's where you do your research. That's where you hone your skills. That's where you learn, you teach. And then when you go to those houses, when people actually need help, your skills are refined, they're developed, you're more educated. So that experience does not stay behind at the historic location that's been on TV. You bring that wisdom with you and you're using it to help people. So I'm going to, again, take a moment and applaud what you do, because that's part of what we do with what we do. That's part of the function, I think, of why we do it, or should.
Just to add one more thing. There's one more part to that. I mean, it's really important. You guys probably know that too. As you go through this over the years, you learn the types of haunts, what works, what doesn't work, where they hide, what are we dealing with when we walk in? And it's amazing. I mean, it is a learning process, and, teams like you guys and like us and a lot of others that go into the homes, and you learn a lot from it. And I do think it's something that just stays with you.
I would definitely agree with that. And you're right about the learning perspective. not only from learning from what the spirits do and where they hide in places and other things, but what people do as well. So, going through this sort of the psychology side, wondering if they took their medication or they didn't take their medication or, anything in between. So yeah, it is a huge learning curve to go down this path, but well said. Very well said.
Awesome. So let's get into some of your evidence, and we're going to start with, we'll go through your thermals and then we'll get to your videos. So let's start with this one.
Oh.
Who's going to talk about it? Tell us what this is.
Go ahead, Rod. Rod?
Can you hear us, Rod?
Yeah.
Might be frozen.
Sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'm cutting in and out. I'm having some really big problems today. So this is, if you can hear me, hopefully,
Yeah, we can.
this is from no.
They cut out.
Yeah, it's cutting out.
Jamie, you want to talk about this museum?
Yeah, this was at the Gilbert Museum. This was only just a couple months ago. We were doing a tour, and at the end of the tour at the Gilbert Museum, we usually break into 2 or 3 groups, and at the end of the tour, we kind of congregate at the basement library. And when we're all in there talking and gathering together, because we feel when we're all together, the more people are together, that just creates more energy for anything that's there, maybe to manifest or say something or something like that of the sort. Rod was around taking a bunch of flare pictures, and just on the floor between the person on the left sitting down, there's some bookshelves on the right. We got this Komodo dragon tail-esque looking flare. It's pretty wild.
Wow, that's creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, we've
So-
never
call it
had any
alligator.
kind of flare picture like that. Of all the flares that we've ever taken, we've never really seen one like that before.
So was this the Gilbert Museum? That's not the HD South one, is it?
Oh no, yeah, Tony, it is where we did the
Man, was this
Paracon,
the night from the?
Oh, dude, yeah. You know what? That might have been that night.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
I
I'm
think it was
disappointed.
that
We had the
night.
dogs.
You
We
guys
couldn't
didn't go.
investigate
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah, I tried to get you to stay, but I'm pretty sure it was that night. when we
Oh.
came.
You know what it reminds me of what we captured in the video loop. Remember the video loop that
Yeah.
had those two? It kind of looks like that.
Oh, that part of it?
Yeah, that part of it. That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
good.
Wow, that's
All right.
creepy.
Yeah.
This one is titled "Lady in the Bed."
Oh yeah. This was a
Oh,
home.
wow.
Yeah, this is a home where these young kids are being tormented. They actually had posters. I can't remember the posters where they were. The Nightmare on Christmas all over the place. And we picked up a voice as well, but this lady was picked up on the side of the bed. And she actually, you remember this one, Jamie, where she apologized later on down the road?
Yeah.
She said, "I'm sorry."
Oh wow!
Wow.
So
Huh.
So not only did you catch her on the FLIR, but you also got EVP evidence to back it up too.
yeah, so this was an old FLIR shot. It was sitting in the archives, and it came from that house where we said you can't scare the children any longer. And she goes, "I'm sorry." Very clear, very, very straightforward. And she said it in a way that she just like, "I'm sorry," And after that, she never bothered the kids again.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's
That is awesome.
Wow, you got an apology
Yeah.
from the other side.
She probably just wanted to be known, like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
here," not realizing that she was scaring the kids.
Right.
Is that
Well,
was that your assessment? Was that really the intent might have been misconstrued once you got the apology?
Yeah, the kids could hear, right? And the kids knew she was there and she needed attention. She was, we think that she was actually died in the building that was next door. It was a townhome. But we do feel that, she just knew the kids could see him, she could hear him, and she wanted some sort of, interaction because we don't know what it's like being on the other side, right? So to say that we just can't allow you to scare the kids any longer, or we'll have to remove you. And she just says, "We're sorry."
Wow, that's interesting.
That's awesome. Chris, do you remember
That
the
is
one where Cherie got the "I'm sorry" from what's his name's house?
From Francisco's house.
Yeah, from Francisco's house. Do you remember that one? That was clear as can be. Also, literally said, Cherie said, you can't be here. You're scaring the parents. They're about to have a baby. You can't be here. And the response on EVP was same thing. We're sorry, it said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that location had multiple spirits. Some of them were sorry. Some of them didn't care.
Right. Wow, that's cool though.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's cool. It's cool that he's got data on audio that correlates with that image, which was pretty freaking cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah, they're really good at that, of making sure that, more than one device will support what they capture. And so they're always running multiple devices, multiple objects, and catching great stuff. So excellent job. Excellent job.
So. The next one we got is The Child.
Ooh.
Yeah, this might be a little hard to see, but you can see there's a reflection of a child inside there. It almost looks like a little girl. It's a little hard to see when it's blown up. But this was a home where, if I remember correctly, the grandmother was in an urn. She was on the front counter, and they thought that maybe she was haunting the house. Laura was standing in one of the bedrooms. She said, I just felt like somebody touched me. And this is the flare shot that was taken at that time when she felt that there was a touch. And it looks like there's a little girl there that's trying to kind of grab onto her because she felt like it was on her leg.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, you're right. With it being blown up, it distorts it a little bit. But if you can make out the image a little bit too. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's similarly to the creepy one that was the first flare image that was shared. The temperature signature being warmer than the coldest blue, but not in the warmer regions, going I guess into the yellows up towards the reds.
Right.
You're in the same ballpark with where it's registering, which is a consistency of data I find fascinating with these so far.
Right. Well, and if you notice too, it's a 10 to almost 20 degree difference, especially in this one, which is a significant factor, because if it was just your standard room, if your standard room temperature is 91, some of the outlying areas that are cooler would not be. They'd be 5-6 degrees max, but this one's almost 20. I mean, you got a 91 to a 77. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Well, the 91 would be the body temperature of whoever's standing on the left, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But the figure is in the blue, so it's room temperature, so there is no body heat.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
It's actually overlapping the heart. You can see it's almost overlapping in front of her as well.
Right.
Do that again.
Like standing right in front of her, right next to her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you almost caught a little bit of a miss there too with the thermal image.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Uh-oh, Rod froze again.
No.
It is cold.
And then there's this one.
Oh, we lost him.
He'll be back.
There he is.
Tony's using all the bandwidth in Arizona.
For what I'm paying for, they should be giving me high speed every day.
Yeah. Then there's this one, and hopefully
Seriously, right?
I really like this one.
I like that.
So Jamie, there he is.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Rod.
So this was actually taken in the Phoenix Zoo.
Oh wow.
So we were up in the attic. It was an old World War II building, and the guy who had the flare, one of my crew members, he says, "Hey Rod, there's something standing right next to you." And he took this picture. It almost looks like a little rabbit with a robe on or something, but we have no idea. But he saw this thing stand there, and he snapped it right away. And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something there. Just no idea.
So is there a set of stairs or anything right there, Rob and Jamie, or is that just solid?
No,
floor?
actually, that's all solid floor. I'm actually in the back of the building, and the stairs are to the other side where the gentleman with the flare is, and also Jamie's on the other side as well.
Yeah, I'm on the other side as well. And in that particular spot, there were several audible, disembodied voices that we all heard more than once. So there was definitely something in that corner.
Well, if you look really close, it looks like half of that embodiment is in the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other really cool thing about it is that if you look at the surrounding colors, they're within maybe 80, 81, 82, but that dark, I mean, the silhouette there is an absolute difference in temperature based on everything surrounding it, all the way down to the 79.8.
Right.
And that makes it jump out at me, because there shouldn't be, unless there's a window or, I don't know, but I don't know the layout of that building, but there's definitely a distinction in temperature in what's being picked up there.
Yeah, those glass panes are actually up at the top there. If you look up the very top, you'll see there's glass panes.
Oh yeah,
those are the windows.
Yeah.
So the darker blue is the actual glass of the window?
Up at the top.
At the top.
Yeah. So then that's interesting, because look at the color match. Look at the color match down below at the bottom of what's circled there.
Yep.
Right.
That's colder than what the windows are displaying.
Yep.
So
there's no blue, right? And so it's cold up there, and then
it's
not cold in the middle.
No connection to it.
Yeah.
Good point. Wow.
So Valerie says this, and I agree. It looks like it's cloaked to me as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I agree with Valerie 100%. That's the first thing I thought was it looked like somebody was squatting down,
trying to hide from us.
Right.
Yeah.
And situational awareness. So if that's the floor where the silhouette ends, and you're looking at the windows at the top, those windows are probably about 42 inches, 36 to 42 inches. Am I right, Jamie? Off the floor?
Probably a little higher than that. I would say they're probably a good 6-7 feet tall.
The windows themselves, or from the sill of the window to the floor? So I'm talking from the bottom of the window to the floor.
From the bottom of the window to the floor.
Is about 7 feet? Oh, this is an attic, isn't it? So these are like dormer windows. Okay, right. So yeah. So if the bottom of that window is about 7 feet, that makes this figure about 3 feet tall.
Yeah,
unless it's crouching down, like Valerie suggested. And that's the first thing that hit me was I thought somebody was squatting down there, and they didn't. Right. I don't know if they were hiding, but they certainly weren't planning for a photo op.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they weren't expecting us that night.
No, that's a great catch.
Well, it's funny. If you see how many pictures we take with a flare, we probably go through 150 pictures, and then you get the one out of the 150, right, that has anything in it, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Some people don't get the one. That's fantastic. Some people don't even get the one. That's a really good one.
Well, and Rod brings up a pretty good point too. It's we call when we catch something in an image, that's like the holy grail of ghost hunting, right? And paranormal investigations. So if you're taking 150 to 200 pictures, odds are in one of those pictures you're going to catch something sooner or later. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we throw a lot out because you can't really tell. But when you see something we can't explain, then it goes in the archives. So
right,
awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And by the way, that one with the alligator looking thing, there was actually 3 shots on that, Tony. So the first one was developing. The second one, it was more formed. The third one, it was the one that was actually formed. So we got all 3 snapshots with that thing growing.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Even better.
Yeah.
So this next piece of evidence I'm going to show you guys, it's called Elf on the Shelf Moving, but I want to show you perfect time of year for this.
I thought it might be.
Really.
Yeah. So I want to show you the still picture first. So this is the still picture. So if you see the stack of books over to the left, I don't know how this shows up on the screen to the viewers. So next to the black thing, you've got a stack of books. And when you guys see the video, the black thing is something on the shelf. And then off to the corner between the books, you see that light figured, looks like it has a little face. That's actually the elf on the shelf. To give you a concept when you're watching the video of what to look for.
And it looks like it's got its arms raised.
Yeah, and it's knee bent right there.
Yeah.
Let me try to give you a little intro before I cut off again. But this house was extremely active. There was no pictures on the walls. They were sleeping basically in our same room. They had a couch with a TV. There was writing all over the what was it, Jamie? The outside grill had writing on it that I'm going to kill you, and I mean just all sorts of bizarre stuff. It was really extremely haunted. And this was inside the closet on the left side when you walk in. There's CDs on one side, there's books on the right side, and there's nothing in between. It's just a black open area there. So that's why we kind of call it the elf on the shelf, because it pops out. You'll see it move. If it didn't move backwards and turn its head, we had no idea what it is. So,
okay, so the black in the center is just a shadow caused from the stack of CDs or books.
Yes,
okay.
And I thought maybe it was a reflection off the CDs, but I can't explain it. I have no idea how this works.
Okay.
Wow.
Watch that area where the elf on the shelf is. Here we go.
No, before that.
Not before that. Okay. Not here. Let me see it real quick. Let me see it real quick. Not here. Let me see it real quick. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it.
Huh. That's
Wow.
good.
Wow. Not buying one of those for the house this year.
And then when we left that closet, and actually there was another picture I thought I had in there. We got a picture of, it looks like a specter standing right outside the closet. I mean, when I call it a specter, it looks like the head and the torso of a body of something just standing there. It was just an extremely haunted house.
None of the shelf backdrop or anything, nothing reflective there.
I had the gentleman go back in there as well. I said, can you tell me what's on that left side there? Because, and he says there's nothing in there that will reflect. I don't remember seeing anything like that. Now, that's the first thing I hit is I'm like, is that a CD? And it's an image, but none of us look like that in the image. But, I guess maybe Jamie does if it was reflected that way. But it was Drew that was taking the video. He's a pretty handsome guy, so I don't think he would look like that elf.
No, I was just curious because that was the first thing that came to mind. But
Tony, same thing here. I thought it was a mirror too, but then Rod had the guy look and see if there's no mirror back there, no, like you said, CDs or anything like that. And I said that has to be a mirror back there, just reflecting off of the camera guys or one of us or something like that. And there was nothing back there, so it's hard to tell. But in that house, the spirits or entities there were very vicious, vocally vicious. They were cussing and yelling at us all night long and saying rude things. I mean, gosh, I wish we could play all the EVPs that we captured in that house. I mean, to the ladies on our group, they were being nasty.
wow,
And it's like that. Every once in a while you'll get that, but that house was really bad. And like Rod said, there was a single man there and his two kids. They all slept in the master bedroom because they were just frightened in that house. And there was so much activity in that house.
And he had nowhere to take the kids, and we felt bad. We're like, we don't want to be in here. The kids are here. It's okay. My kid's been dealing with this for months now. So, we go in there, and the first thing it does, I go in front of the TV there, and I said, if you're here, I want you to come over here and light this object right now. And it lights in front of the TV, and the kids start screaming. It's like it just went downhill from there. But
wow,
Wow.
And that's impressive.
That is, and I won't be buying an elf on a shelf either. And for any children watching, there is proof that it's not your parents doing this crap.
They're real.
And we do this every show. This is not an opportunity we should let it slide again. We should also point it out is that they both gave a phenomenal explanation on ruling out all possibilities to be left with, I don't know what the hell happened, but something moved, by looking for reflective surfaces and re-examining the scene of the crime, so to speak. So that's investigating 101 for the people who are new. And we point this out every show when people do it, and this should be no exception. That's really thorough work to know
Well, and it's a perfect example of seasoned investigators too that know what they're doing before they present something as evidence. They go back in and verify that they're not catching something, right? It's unexplainable, which falls into the realm of paranormal before they present it and say, "Hey, this is paranormal. We've debunked it. We've gone in and made sure nothing else is causing it." And before they present it as evidence, they say, "This is what we did. We sent somebody back in. We've checked everything else out." That's seasoned investigation right there. Is what that is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Plus, that's probably the only piece of evidence we had out of that house. We said, we just want to tell you that we can't explain this, but here it is. If you want to go. But everything else was explainable. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
All right. The next one is cat spirit in the closet. This is what the elf on the shelf rides at night when everybody's sleeping.
Chris.
He hitches them right in.
Chris is to make sure nobody sleeps tonight by the time the show
I
ends.
know.
It's the whole,
Never mind, Mom. I don't want a cat anymore.
or a closet.
another reason why you shouldn't let your children watch our show. All right, here we go.
Be gone, whoever you may be, will bind you, cast you into the pit. Barry, do you want to do inside here? Oh, sure. I do. We bind you, be gone, whoever you may be gone. We cast you out.
It sounded like another cat.
We bind you in the name of the Father, Son.
Yeah, that I heard clear as a bell.
Yeah. The bigger question is it a cat, or as he's blessing the closet, is that something that he's exercising out and it's screaming?
Well, let me give you a little insight to this house. This house used to be a foster home for animals. We found chain marks around the trees. We did a little research on it. And the reason we're called into this house is a gentleman was being held down on his bed. He'd be laying there and something would jump on top of him, hold him down. Long story short, we ended up, through this whole house, we recorded large dogs barking, cats meowing, and everything else. We just caught this stuff constantly throughout the house. And we did explain to them, just to give you the final on this, we explained to them that this was probably a cat and a dog spirit because we picked them up several times. And the gentleman was okay with that. And what they did is end up putting two beds down, a dog bed, a cat bed, toys. They named the dog Spook and the cat Casper. And ever since then, those toys have moved around, and they've never had any problems since with anybody jumping on top of him and holding him down in the bed.
Wow.
Yeah. The poor cat was like, "Oh, you just wet me." Meow.
Play that one again. I want to hear that one again.
Yeah, that is definitely needs to be played again.
All right, here we go.
Be gone, whoever you may be, will bind you, cast you into the pit. Barry, do you want to do inside here? Oh, sure. I do. We bind you, be gone, whoever you may be gone. We cast you out.
It sounded like another cat.
We bind you in the name of the Father, Son.
Wow.
And it was audible. It was audible, right? Not EVP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the door. The door didn't move. It's not like the squeak of the door. That sounded like a cat.
Yeah, sure
Right.
did.
So that wasn't an EVP. That was a disembodied voice you guys caught on.
Meow.
Yeah.
So was the dog. We all heard the dog with our own ears too, but we recorded as well so we could play it back for him. It was a large dog.
Well, what's funny, you say large dog, where he said that he felt like something jumped on him and pinned him down, which is something a dog. My dog does it all the time when we're laying in bed. Jumps on top of you and lays on top of you. But my dog's 40 pounds. It's not a big dog. But interesting.
Yeah. It turned out really well. They were real happy to know they had animal spirits. And like I said, they put down toys. The toys move around. The beds would be slept in, and they could actually see that movement. They told us about 6 months later, man, we just love them. Here's their names, and we call out to them, take them, keep them happy.
Well, now they got pets. They got pets that the kids can play with, and they don't have to feed them.
Yeah.
True.
That's kind of pets. 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't have to clean up poop. Nothing. Fantastic.
Wow.
All right.
Litter box.
Yeah, no litter box. No digging in the backyard. All right. The next one we got is the Victorian house outside. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, little boy, can you look through the window? Knock, knock. Show yourself.
Laura, you can see real clear now?
I would see if somebody was inside, yeah. Come look out the window. Come look at us. See if somebody was inside, yeah. Come look out the window. Come look at us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
That
sounded like
area,
the same woman twice.
yeah, it did. In that area, that area right there outside that house, we've always stopped and we've done EVPs. And also, there's a dog in that house as well. Everybody's heard the dog bark, and they do the same thing. They got a dog bow in there that they keep it with water all the time for the spirit dog. But yeah, that activity just outside that house is just crazy. And that's up the Pioneer Living History Museum, the Victorian house. Of course, it's set right on the sign.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that day that that she said it was freezing, it was literally like 105
Yeah.
that night when we were out. So obviously that was probably a residual, voice coming through. But like Rod said, there's so many times just right outside there we get so much stuff, and then inside the house there's a lot of residual, but there's also a lot of intelligent stuff going on there. There's some nasty stuff inside that Victorian house, the old Vic, we call it.
Yeah.
Those buildings were actually relocated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's very possible then that it's residual. Did any of them come from outside of the state, do you know? Or were they all Arizona focused?
No, those
they
were Arizona. That was the
All Arizona.
Sears. Yeah, that was the old Sears home that was up there. Then we
Okay.
got the
Well, I mean, if it was northern Arizona, though, I mean, it could be freezing out.
Right.
The cabins that are there are from more northern on the property,
Yeah.
but the homes there, that and the Merritt House, are from around central Phoenix area.
Okay.
So for all of our viewers watching, Pioneer Village is just north of Phoenix, between Phoenix and Anthem, and it sits on the side of I-17. And it is there was a rich benefactor that believed in the history of Arizona, correct? If I remember the story right. And what he would do is he would find old historic homes that they were going to tear down or they were going to just get rid of or demolish, and he would relocate them to this area that he had outside of Phoenix, and he built this little village. It's literally a little village that you can go and walk through, and every now and then you can do investigations in, and there's multiple houses that he's taken around from the state of Arizona and replaced them into this facility from the 1800s, 1900s. God, he's got a couple there from the 17s, doesn't he?
I don't know if the 1700s are in there. They got the 1800s for sure. Oh, no, you know what? Down in the Prescott Valley Wars, those are from the 1700s, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to point out
Valley.
something that Jamie said. You notice that video was taken at night, and Jamie said it was 105, and that is why Chris and Audra now live in North Carolina.
And all those homes were relocated from just Arizona or all the states?
Correct.
All the homes in the
Arizona.
village?
Just Arizona.
Just Arizona?
Just
'Cause
Arizona.
those
There's
places
more
are
than
interesting.
homes there too. There's a bank. There's a
There's an old jail. There's an old
Jail.
cabin. Yeah.
there's a post office. There's
theater in
a
there.
variety of stuff.
Yeah, an old theater. There's an old livery stable in there that has a bunch of old wagons and stuff in there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a hanging bench.
Blacksmith
Yeah.
shop.
Those villages are interesting
Right.
because you're getting all these energies from different places and relocating into one spot. Those are
What was the one in South Jersey?
Cold
with
Springs.
Cold Spring Village in
Yeah,
South Jersey.
it's
We
the
were
same
just at.
thing.
And I was at one in California, which was Heritage Junction, which is just north of LA in the San Fernando Valley area. Same kind of thing. And every time I hear of another place like that, those places fascinate me too,
Yeah.
for the same reasons that you
They have
have.
a lot of energies all mixed in
Yeah,
together.
you have the aggregation of history and
Yep.
then the preservation of it, somewhere where it's going to be around and not get demolished or, and not
Yeah.
where it originally stood. That's fascinating.
If anybody ever gets up to Montana, there's a place called Virginia City, and it's just west. It's west of Bozeman, and just north of Virginia City, they've built another town. I can't remember what it's called, but Virginia City, they still have like the old mercantile, and it's still people when the gold rush stopped in that area, they just packed up their personal belongings, got in their wagons, and left. The old mercantile still has all the articles that they left behind in the mercantile in Virginia City. And then less than a half a mile north of Virginia City in Montana, they've done the same thing. They've relocated old homes and they've built this great, big, huge, like little village thing that you can go through. It's pretty neat too. I think the Tennessee Wraith Chasers went there and did an investigation in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those places, especially Pioneer. I mean, Tree and I, we went out there, took our equipment with us, and it was the middle of the day. It was like we got there at like 11, stayed till like 3. Man, EVP after EVP after EVP. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The old
There's actually.
Go ahead, Rod.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. I just
we can.
Okay. Yeah. There's
Well,
I
now we
jinxed
can.
myself.
I know.
I know.
He did.
As soon as we said we could hear him, that looks like the end of an 80s sitcom. He's just frozen.
He'll be
No,
back.
it looks like the beginning of the Brady Bunch. It's not his turn to sing yet.
Listen, Rod is going to be able to claim something that no other guest has ever been able to claim. He's going to be able to say by the end of tonight that he's been on our show about 17 times.
All right, I think are you frozen?
He looks
Are
like
you
he's
back?
back.
This-
That's something, Rod. Nobody heard you froze.
He did. Yeah, he's frozen again.
He's
Aw.
frozen again.
Yeah.
Well, at least
At least he's smiling now.
Yeah, he's
Well,
smiling.
that's a good one. That's a good.
He's
that's a
happy.
good piece right there. Well, I don't want to show the next piece until Rod can be a part of it. It's his evidence. It's Jamie's evidence. I'd like them both to be a part of it. That's awesome.
Well, at least as far as those villages are concerned, the EVPs that you get in those places are pretty, because that's what we mostly got, right? In Cold Spring, in the village.
Yeah, we went in one of the structures because it was kind of a impromptu walk around, and then we got to go inside one place.
Yeah.
But
Got some really
we
good
want to go back
EVPs.
when it's a little bit more. We have actual cold here,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
we
you
want to
do.
actually go warmer.
There he is.
Put him back, Rod.
We did.
Yay! Do you
All right.
remember what you were going to say?
Did you see the light, Rod? Do you remember what happened?
Can you tell
This
us?
is ridiculous. Yeah. Hit the neighbors, man. I think everybody's on the internet or something.
That's funny. All right. So the next one we got is the cleansing. Let me go ahead and play that, and then we can talk about it.
All right, guys.
Feel better?
This house is.
You guys aren't getting the same readings we're used to? Feel better?
This house is.
You guys aren't getting the same readings we're used to?
Not yet. I just want to walk through and see if I can hear a voice.
Okay.
Real quick, and then we'll.
Wow.
Wow. It's like
That's
a
right.
flashback of poltergeist. This house is clean. That's exactly what it sounds like to me.
We have
Yeah.
two.
Rod's here twice.
He's going to split himself, owning himself. He can't take it anymore.
He's been on the show more than anybody else.
Yes.
Those
He's got
EVPs were
He's
really
got
good.
these great cameo profiles for the show too. It's-
Well, yeah, that house, you guys, was crazy. And as you can tell, nobody reacted to it when it came out, when that voice came
Right.
out. So it was
Mhm.
Yeah, first thing I noticed.
pretty amazing to let us know that it's clean. But
Really loud, really clear. No
They were
reaction.
strong EVPs.
Yep.
Yep. They were
Yeah,
really
reaction.
very strong.
good. Mhm.
Full sentences, too.
Clear.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are clear.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And no booze, man. They were upset there was no
booze,
booze.
no booze.
It's
Yeah.
not the booze.
And that was a home
in
that
my
we've
house,
done,
apparently.
that we investigated more than once because there was so much activity in there. So we had to. The first time we just did it as a team. The second time, after we do an investigation, then we'll bring ministry in and have them do a little cleanse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
really
lot.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was sectioned together, if that was just one straight clip, but there was a ton of stuff going on. Multiple different voices, male, female, different subjects. Just that was amazing.
And at the end of that, when the Father Mark was coming in on the back wall, you can see me by the sliding glass door. I'm standing there with the K2 meter, and Laura, you saw in the shot, she's standing somewhere else by another door with the K2 meter. So when he's walking doing his cleanse, we'll all stand by doors or exit points and see if we capture anything in our K2 meter or any other kind of EMF detector, just to see if something maybe is leaving. And probably half the time we get some good readings when he's doing his cleanse. It's pretty amazing.
That is a fantastic technique, because anybody that's watching, if you ever seen a house being cleansed, what you do is you open up all the doors, you start at the back of the house, and you cleanse the house forward. And basically what you're doing is you're trying to push out the negative energy. And you finish at the front door, and the house has been cleansed all throughout. I've never thought of that. That is a fantastic technique to do it at the doorways. It's almost like as you're pushing them through, you could catch them speaking. That's a fantastic.
Quite a bit.
Does that work every time?
Most of the time. Not every time do we capture something, but every time we do a cleanse, whether it be Rod and Laura, or we have Father Mark or somebody else come in, we'll always stand there. But I'd say probably about 50 to 60% of the time we will capture some kind of evidence that something's leaving.
Yeah, Jamie will stand by each door as we go through the rooms, and just to watch him even exit each room. And then we work our way around left to right till we get to the front door, and then we force it out the front door and do the final cleansing there.
Right.
Have you guys ever placed a flare towards that doorway to see if you catch something coming through?
No, but we set about 12 bikers outside the door. They were drinking beers, and we scared the heck out of them when all the windmills started going, and we came to the door, and they're like, "What'd you guys just do?" Big bikers, they were just scared to death. Everything started spinning and outside, and they're like, "What are you guys doing in there?"
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good idea. We should try that flare. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
That is a great idea. The great idea that you guys had recording at those doorways. I've never thought of that. I'm going to use it on the next cleansing, though. Real quick,
Not only that, we do capture EVPs as well. That at that very moment as well. I don't know if Rod sent any in, but we have caught some. Just can't really remember what they all say, but we have heard help and buy and others kind of things. Just little things like that. Not just during there, but throughout the house. We've captured those, but also during the cleansing.
Wow, that's cool.
So one of the things one of the ministers taught me is listen to the door. Don't ever answer the door, but when you get done, you mark it outside the door and you close it. We've got a couple EVPs where you hear the knocking, trying to come back in.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Huh.
Wow.
Real
Have you
quick,
ever had a situation with anybody with one of those like Ring kind of doorbells with a camera where you had something that was visually? I mean, because that could happen. You could have something visual that's anomalous at the same time you're getting the knocking on the outside. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have. No, but that's interesting to see. Ask ahead of time, because half the time we probably don't even know if they have one of those Ring devices, and we can ask them. And if we do a cleansing, can we see what's going on? If we can check it out during the cleansing to see if we see, the mist or just or whatever going through. Not before people start on all stuff. But there are a lot of times outside of investigating a particular house that we will get from different people. They'll send in videos of just incredible looking stuff on their Ring. I'm sure you've all got them and seen them. They're not just your typical little dust flying around. We've got some stuff. It's like, holy cow, I have no idea what that is. It's just amazing stuff. But that's a good idea, Ron. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
It just, because that's what you're talking about with the whole process. That's new to me. I hadn't heard. I agree with Chris. Like what you guys do with that sounds extremely insightful and thorough and effective. And so when you talked about the door, then when Rod mentioned the knocking, the first thing that popped into my head was, I wonder if there's ever any capture that's visual that would go, even if it was, an orb or whatever, but something that was correlative data to that, because that alone, the knocking, if you've gotten that, that's fantastic. That's really, really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And don't open the door.
No kidding.
No.
That's right.
All right, guys, in about 2 minutes, UNX is going to switch over to their next audio program, but we're going to continue on with Rod and Jamie. We got one more clip, and then we got their shameless plugs coming up. And stay live with us on Facebook and YouTube. All right, guys. So I saved this one last because this is one of Tony's favorites. This is at the San Marcos Hotel.
I love that place.
So here we go.
Yeah.
We can ask him to.
Nice.
Yeah,
Was there a mist that came out that door when you were coming out? Because it looked like right before the help, it looked like there's mist coming out as you're backing out of the room. Is that on the second story?
Yeah, second floor.
That porch area up on top. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, play it one more time, Chris.
Let's play it again.
Maybe it's just me, but it looked like when they're back, whoever's backing out of that room, there's a mist that goes by right as the door frame comes up.
And Ron thinks he heard another voice.
It sounded like there was like a whisper EVP that came right before the help.
All right, let's check it out.
All right,
Let's do
check
this.
it out. All right, here we go.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, on both. There was a whisper
Yeah.
EVP before the help, and then there was something that passed in front of the camera as it turned past the door frame. You're right.
You can if you can analyze that audio, if you can analyze that whisper EVP part, I would put money on it that it connects with the help part. It seems to run right into it. Maybe a different voice, but that's good.
You can hear it, yeah.
That location is really cool because they have it comes in spurts. It's not constant, but when you get it, the EVPs are usually clear. The atmosphere of the place kind of changes, but it in their basement. Have you guys been in the basement?
The boiler room, yeah.
Yeah, the boiler room. Good stuff happens down there too, but that's awesome. Great capture. And that EVP, both those helps are super clear. There's tonality, there's structure, they can hear emotion. Those are good. Really good.
Well,
Yeah,
and
a
the
lot of
significance of that video too is the guy holding the camera doesn't react.
Right.
Just keeps moving. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I don't think he heard those with his own ears. That was all just on the video. He was just taking video to see what the rooms look like, and he come back and we played it back. Like, there's somebody going for help there.
Yeah.
If we didn't know, we would have hung around there more.
Well, that first one sounds like it's right in front of the camera, and then the second one sounds like it's in the next room. So if he would have heard that, you would have seen that camera jerk, because that would definitely be yeah.
I would agree.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Another,
go ahead, Ron.
I'm saying it's definitely another voice. I think there's another EVP or two right before the more prominent helps. There's definitely something else there. You captured a lot in that.
Yeah, that was great. And I do hear what you're hearing, Ron. There is definitely something there. I can't understand what's being said.
No.
And it is whispery, but it is there.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's as close as that first help is. I'd almost say whatever passed in front of the camera stopped right there and then asked for help right before it whispered and then asked for help right in front of the camera. That was pretty cool.
It's a good thought.
Could have been.
All right, gentlemen, this is the point of the show we call Shameless Plugs. Tell us where you're at, where you can be found, what you got coming up. Anything goes at this point.
And we just finished our Goldfield Ghost Town investigation. Just getting ready to post it. I think that might be causing part of the problems going on here. I don't know. Probably shouldn't have made fun of Santa's elf. I think that's what's jinxed me tonight. But we get back into normal business. We've got a lot of cases that are building up right now. We've been telling folks we're on break, trying to get this negative energy off. But come January, we'll be back in business and going at it again.
You can find us on Phoenix Arizona Paranormal Society.com. also a Facebook page. Follows us. Just type us in or type our name in, and you'll come right up to us. And we're also on YouTube. So all the videos that we make, that Rod does and edits, he does a great job doing it all. He's fantastic at it. So he'll put most of the videos on Facebook, and they'll also go on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we have a playlist out there on Facebook for all our investigations, and we also have what we call Friday Clips, which is just a bunch of little clips from different investigations that we kind of throw together for folks.
Yeah, I've seen those. You guys do a really good job with that. You just started that in the last 5-6 months, right?
The Friday Clips?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one's been out there for a while. The investigations always get posted out there. As long as the clients allow us, we post them out there.
Right. Awesome.
We'll be looking at some new locations for the next year for tours and stuff like that. Folks like to come with us and do tours as well. So we're looking at a few different places, including one legendary site downtown Phoenix, Tony.
Very cool. Very cool.
The penthouse.
Cool. Yeah, that penthouse at San Marcos. There's something up there that just draws you right to it, man. Wish I could have got up there. All right, Tony, who was with us tonight?
Oh my gosh. The Holtes, Valerie Wright, Scott Reddick, Melissa Blackman. Who else do I have?
Everett, Valerie.
Leland Lavender.
Yep, Leland Lavender.
Anthony Simonelli.
Anthony Simonelli, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yep, Carol Garcia. ICAZ.
Everett was here again.
Everett was with us, yes. Courtney Peterson.
Irene Takura.
Yeah, from Japan.
From Japan, yeah.
She keeps tuning in.
Courtney Peterson.
That's cool.
Yeah. The list keeps going. Kathy Casanova.
ICAZ.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Ronald from ERRT Radio.
Ronald, right.
Richard Michelle was with us.
Yeah.
Rich.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Michelle LeBaron.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Catherine Casanova.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, guys, just a reminder, we will be out for the next 2 weeks, but we will be coming back to you on UNX, same time, same network, same Facebook, same YouTube. On January 9th, we will have our own evidence show to show you guys some of the stuff that we've captured in some of our investigations. We just wanted to say thank you guys for stopping by. 2022 has been a great year for all of us. We've all been pretty damn busy, and we will continue to be that way because we're crazy and passionate about our world that we live in here. And just remember, for the holidays, spend time with family. Be thankful for that time that you get. Make sure you're on the nice list and not the naughty list, so we can get that elf on the shelf away from the rest of us. But have a good Christmas. Have a happy New Year. We will see you in 2023. And in between the holiday festivities, make sure you stay haunted. All right, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Good night.
Good night.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?